It's the Eagle Community Television Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
Hi, I'm Gary Shorman, and this is the Forum on Eagle Television. Great to have you watching along today. You know what? I'm with Johnny Matlock, who is the new career special at USD 489. We'll tell you more about that because most of you know him by his singing and the choral groups at Hayes High. Johnny, good to have you on the program.
It's great to be here today. Thanks for having me.
You know what? There's a lot of transition. We'll talk about that in just a second. But when we talk about singing, you're not going to make me sing, are you?
Oh, well, I could teach you.
You do. Like row the boat, maybe? I could probably get with that. I go to your events, and I hear those students, and it is amazing what you're able to get out of those students performing, because part of it is your energy to make them sound good.
Well, thank you. Thanks for saying that. I'm fortunate to be able to work with some really talented kids, too, but they're hardworking, and I think that's what produces those results.
You know, you do your spring dinner event that you have.
Dinner show.
And that is just amazing, watching those kids get up. It's like a Broadway show put on in the gymnasium. It's just pretty amazing how you transform that gym into a
Doesn't look
show.
Like a gym, does it?
It doesn't look like a gym at all. So how'd that go off this year?
It went fantastic. I mean, we had record crowds, and I was just very proud of the kids. It was a super show. Super show. Great memories.
I know one of the things when you go through this, you have parents of kids that are watching right now and say, Johnny was the choral instructor for my son, daughter, etc. Do you kind of keep track of the number of kids that you've touched in your music career?
No, I haven't even thought about that.
It's a bunch.
It's a bunch. It really is. Yeah. Now we're getting some of their kids, in class. And then you've been there a while. So.
Well, you've done a terrific job there, but that leads up to the question. You've made a transition. There's a new area about talking about dealing with career specialties and dealing with that at USD 489. How did that job come about?
Well, I'll preface that by saying that I've been very fortunate to have had 30 years as a choral director and being able to do what I'm passionate about. And I love it. And when this job came available, this is something I'm passionate about also, is about just helping young people, coaching them, mentoring them, helping them to be successful in the future. And that's what this new program is all about.
How did you find out about this?
Well, the school district, I understand, has been looking at this for a while. And a group of folks went up and looked at the Salina program that was there and came back and kind of told me about it. And so I started kind of looking at it and kind of put it on the back burner, actually. I thought, oh, wow, that sounds really cool. I think I could be interested in doing that. And then, lo and behold, it came about. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Well, as I understand it, a lot of this, it's not like you could just quit your job and take an interview and do something different. You were trying to do the dinner show, trying to do all this stuff. All this transition is going on, and you're going, wow, how did all this happen so quick?
Yes, it all came about at kind of the same time. I mean, I was interviewing right during the dinner show, and
not during the show.
Well, not during the show, but like during that time, and then yeah, they offered me the job, and wow, I'm excited about doing it.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about what this is. You said you're doing this.
Yeah, right.
Career specialist sounds like a planning on what you're going to do in your career versus just graduating from high school and saying, what am I going to do next kind of thing? But there has to be more to it.
There is. The program is called JAG, Jobs for America's Graduates. And there's over 60 high schools in the state of Kansas that are involved in this program. And it has great success with students maybe that or have some obstacles in their lives that may be hindering their graduating. And we work through those obstacles and help coach through that. And they have like a 90% graduation rate of students who are involved in this program. It's pretty impressive.
So if Gary Shorman was in school and I was struggling in some areas and one either may not be able to graduate or have to go to another year or et cetera, struggling with classroom stuff, is that when you take over? Is that when you're referred to by a counselor?
Well, in fact, we just went through the process of prioritizing some students that have a need for what JAG can offer them, and they have a desire. They want to be successful. These students want to be successful, and we feel like they can profit from what JAG has to offer. In JAG, we're going to be exploring career opportunities opportunities and teaching them some life skills and giving them some tools that will help transition them into post-graduation. Maybe that's into college, maybe it's into technical school, maybe it's right into the workforce. And actually I'll be following them and mentoring them for a year after they graduate from high school.
Well, that's interesting because so many times you say, okay, graduate from high school, go to college, and then still not know what to do. When I first saw this time, I said, yay, and it's a chance for some kids to step back and say, there's some really good jobs right now in some of the vocational skills, being able to do things that are actually a better job than maybe going through college and having a career in something that you, one, don't like to do, and two, may not be nearly as able to find that kind of job.
That's right. That's so true. So true. And also, we'll be relating what they're doing in school to how that's going to help make them successful or to get that career, to make that attainable for them. So we're making those important connections with kids which can motivate them in their academics.
Now, how many kids do you expect to serve through this program?
Well, it's a very specialized program, and it's 35 to 40 students is what I'll be working with, and just really focusing on them.
Well, when you look at the advantage of having somebody like yourself helping coach, that's a big deal. What did you learn over your music career of instructing students in music that ties over into this? That they said, hey, let's give Johnny Matlock this job because he has the experience. What was that experience, that transition?
Well, I think I've been coaching kids all my life, you know, in the classroom and in music, and motivating them to want to sing, motivating them to want to be passionate, and that's a lot of what this job is about. This will be a very diverse group. The kids will be very different. Maybe they have different needs, each of them, and that's just like them coming into my classroom, all at different levels. Imagine how many different levels of musicians I have in front of me in my 95 voice concert choir. You know, I have some that are very, very at the very top of their game, very talented, I have a lot of experience, all the way down to nothing. And so you're putting that together to try to help all those kids.
When you do that, will you have a classroom?
Yes.
Or will you have multiple classrooms,
Yes.
or is it one-on-one?
I'll have classroom, and so they'll be assigned. I'll be teaching classes during the day, and those students will be assigned in those classes. And then we'll be making community connections. That's something I'm going to be doing, is calling on our business folks in town to become part of that mentoring process. Maybe they come in and speak to these kids and about what they do and how they can nurture, you know, that career if they're interested in it. We'll be going out and taking tours of maybe some companies, maybe some businesses, maybe even right here at Eagle.
That'd be cool.
And taking a look and to try to show kids what's out there, what's available to them, and trying to get it on their radar.
You know, that's interesting. So many kids may not have the opportunity. You know, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And if you can open some windows for kids, that'll make a huge difference in their life.
That's so true. Yeah.
One of the things I know when you get into getting people from outside, it expands their scope. Is there a lesson plan guide under the JAG program, or are you developing this from scratch?
No, there is a very good curriculum, and there's 37 competencies that we're going to be looking at over the course of their time in JAG. And we're trying to make them master each one of these things, from communication skills to maybe interview skills to even just some basic things of finance, personal finance, all these different areas that we're going to be covering in there to kind of help to give them some tools.
That's exciting. You know, you're making a transition, but it's going to be great for the kids to have somebody like you for doing that. Yeah. But you're doing change on your own. When you talk about saying, hey, you're doing this, I also understand your wife Sherry is going to be down at the university, and she has a new job as well, so that's going to be exciting.
Right, yeah, very exciting. She's going to be very good at that job. We're kind of, the Matlocks are rebooting, I think, you know, how often do you get a chance to do that, you know, and still do what you love and still feel passionate about and a job that has meaning?
Well, you know? that makes cool, because I know she's going to be in the science and math program and be an administrator there, assistant there, and it's going to be a great job for her as well. And you're also moving to a new place to live, and so it's like, wow, how fun is this for the Matlock family?
Yeah, it is fun. We're kind of in a mess right now, in boxes and everything else, until trying to make the transitions. But
you know, the best part, though, for those of us in the community that have followed your career, your wife's career, is that you guys are staying here in town and continuing to do things, continuing to be a part of our community and doing that. And as we go, we're going to take a break and come back, because I want to find out if you have a student, grandson, granddaughter, son, daughter, etc., that would be interested in maybe participating in this JAG program, because I can see some real benefits to that program. We'll take a break and come back and talk about how to be involved.
Sounds good.
Johnny Matlock is our guest. We'll be back with more after this from HaysMed.
HaysMed is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, HaysMed is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. HaysMed, helping people be healthy.
Eagle Communications is your ultimate business partner. We provide business class phone with customizable features and fast, reliable internet. Your knowledgeable team at Technology Solutions has a broad base of IT services to meet your needs. Let the experts at Marketing Solutions get your message to the right people on the best platforms. The only piece missing is your business. Call Eagle Communications today at 877-61-EAGLE.
Welcome back to the second half of our Forum program with Johnny Matlock, who is a new career specialist at USD 489. We'll be talking in just a second and ask a couple questions about how to get your student involved, or at least ask questions about that. Before we do that, I want to remind you, if you have any ideas or programs like this one you'd like to bring forward so we can interview that guest maybe later on this summer, let us know. Send me a note at gary.shorman@eaglecom.net, or you can also go on Facebook under ECTV Forum, and you can find us there. I'd like to hear from you. Again, our guest is Johnny Matlock, and Johnny had a great first half of our program talking about what it does as being a career specialist. But how do you get involved with the program, and who specifically will we be looking for? Because somebody out there may want to say, I have somebody I know that might be involved, might be improved by this program.
Right.
How do you get into the program?
Right. Well, I would suggest they can contact me at Hays High School. And, you know, I'm told from, this is all new to me also, but as I talk to people that are in JAG and other school districts, there's a waiting list to get into this program. And because I think it's such a, it's just so, such a positive influence on kids. And so, yeah, I think they need to contact Hays High if they think they'd be interested. And as I said, the process, there's an advisory team of counselors, administrators, myself, that then begin to look at what students might most benefit from being in this program.
That has to be one of the biggest challenges, because I know you talk about students are at risk, which isn't a fair word here, but I understand you'll have students from all different, whether it be grade point averages, different style walks of life, and deciding who's in the program and who's not might be a challenge.
Yes, it's a very diverse group. It's a very diverse group. So you might have students that are struggling academically, but you're going to have some students in there that are doing well academically, but maybe in some areas, maybe it's communication, maybe it's some other areas that they could use some coaching and you know, some benefit from these skills, from these competencies that we're going to be teaching.
Well, it's exciting to have you as part of that program, because you do some fun things. In fact, when this airs, or this program airs, you'll actually just be getting back from New York, taking a group of high school students to the streets of New York. And tell us about that trip, knowing that you're already back when this airs, but tell us about what you were supposed to be doing in New York, and we'll see how it compares with what actually happened.
It's a chamber singers, a group of 28 students. This is their, we take a trip every 2 years, and I love taking them on the New York trip because I think it's so educational. And so we'll go see a Mets game while we're there. We will do the 9/11 memorial. We'll go to Ellis Island. We're taking in a couple of Broadway shows. We'll see Wicked and Aladdin, which we're so excited about seeing Aladdin because Jacob Gutierrez just making his Broadway debut in there. So we're hoping we get to see him while we're there. We'll perform at the United Nations. And as well as just get to see Grand Central Station and experience the multicultural melting pot that New York is, which is so good for our kids.
Well, to see that and be able to be in the area with so many people all trying to get something done, it's amazing when you're in that world how it is. So first off, I mean, it's congratulations to you and the high school for putting together that kind of group to do that. Obviously, these are your elite singers, elite people that participate in doing that, but it does take effort for you and those going along with to make that a successful trip. So thank you for all that work. And I know it's going to transition over into your new job. When is the cut date? When do you go from being choral director extraordinaire to what would I call a career specialist extraordinaire? When does that cutover date happen?
Well, probably when I get back from New York. My official start date with the JAG program, JAG-K, is going to be July 1. But obviously we've already started planning and selecting students, and so the planning, the prep work's already going on even in that job now. So.
Well, Johnny, thanks for all your effort at Hayes High over the years of training so many students, coaching them, doing some wonderful things right now out in the world from a singing standpoint. I know the same thing will happen as a career specialist. So thanks for being on our program today. Good luck, and maybe a while down the road you get into this, we'll come back and talk about what you found after a little bit of time. I'd love to talk to you about that.
I would enjoy that very much.
Thanks for watching the Forum program. Our guests have been Johnny Matlock, who is the new career specialist at USD 489. Thanks to you for watching our program as well. It's brought to you by Hayes Med and by Eagle Communications, our community connected.